celebrities with politicians in their family tree. Today on Act TV, we have the lineage of some celebrities with politicians. Number 1. Tom Hanks and Abraham Lincoln. As a double Oscar winner, Tom Hanks is considered Hollywood royalty.
And the Oscar goes to Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump.
But now, it's been revealed that the Forrest Gump star is related to one of America's greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The 56-year-old actor is third cousin, 4 times removed of the former president. And this connection comes through the president's mother, Nancy Hanks. Details of this genealogical link were revealed by Hanks himself, as it was announced he'll narrate a film called Killing Lincoln. The historical thriller combines CGI and rare historical archive material and is being made by the National Geographic Channel. Is known he was a distant relative of Lincoln since he was a child, with details of his ancestry passed down by members of his extended family.
They who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
While he does not boast about his lineage, he did once say, "I'm related to Abraham Lincoln. His mother was called Nancy Hanks, and the members of my branch of the family are either cousins or in-laws or poor relations." So, when I was at school, guess which president I was always doing essays on?
Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. President. Oh, this must be like the worst thing that's ever happened to you in a theater balcony.
Hanks, who through his roles in movies like Saving Private Ryan and Apollo 13 is known as the chronicler-in-chief of the US history, was briefly considered for this title role in Steven Spielberg's forthcoming movie Lincoln. Dropped out of the running, saying that the actor who needed to play Lincoln had to be tall, admitting he did not have the same stature as Daniel Day-Lewis. Number 2. Ben Affleck and President Obama. Thanks to the miracle of modern DNA technology, people are discovering exciting and sometimes troubling familial ties in their bloodline. You might be surprised, for instance, to learn that the Boston-born actor and Argo director Ben Affleck and the 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, are related. Genealogists have determined that the Batman vs. Superman star is an 11th cousin to President Barack Obama via the prominent Hinckley family of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. One of the most notable Hinckley family members, Thomas Hinckley, was a leading settler of what is now Barnstable, Massachusetts, the largest community on Cape Cod. Thomas Hinckley was also the last governor of Plymouth Colony, which eventually became the town of Plymouth, Massachusetts. And this makes it clear that politics run deep in this bloodline. While it may be seen that there is little that ties Ben Affleck to Barack Obama, Affleck's longtime activism and rumored political aspirations might just suggest otherwise.
And the Oscar goes to Argo. Congratulations.
The 2-time Oscar winner once told the New York Times journalist Chip McGrath in a Facebook Live interview, "I like the idea of running for office. I think there's something really noble in public service." Number 3. Hillary Clinton with Madonna and Angelina Jolie. It looks like these 3 leading ladies have genetic ties. Hillary has recently discovered she's cousins with both Madonna and Angelina Jolie. According to the Washington Post, a genealogist was the first one who discovered the genetic line. And here's what he found. It turns out that Angelina Jolie is related to the former First Lady Hillary Clinton, according to the New England Historical Genealogical Society per the Los Angeles Times. Compared to Hilary Duff and Queen Elizabeth II's distant connection, Angelina Jolie and Hillary Clinton's relation is much closer. As it turns out, the two are ninth cousins, twice removed through a common relative they share who happens to be Jean Caston of Saint-Sulpice in Quebec. But Jolie isn't the only celebrity that Clinton's related to. She also happens to be ninth cousins with Madonna through Pierre Gagné of Quebec. Hillary Clinton's famous relatives don't stop there. According to Wright Wisner, she also has blood ties and distant relations to both Celine Dion and Alanis Morissette. Number 4. Marilyn Monroe and Bush family. Marilyn Monroe was a very popular figure in her heyday. The Los Angeles native was an actress first and foremost, but was also a very celebrated sex symbol. More than 50 years later, Monroe is still remembered for her beauty, as well as a troubled life she sadly lived before her death.
Running wild, mighty bold, feeling gay, reckless too. Carefree mind all the time, never blue.
Monroe became famous for films such as Some Like It Hot and The 7-Year Itch.
Classical music, isn't it?
Yeah,
I could tell because there's no vocal.
let it sweep over you. Relax. Don't limp.
When she wasn't on television, she was garnering attention for something else, like her famous rendition of Happy Birthday to President John F. Kennedy.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
But it all came to an end when she was found dead at the age of 36 on August 5, 1962, from an apparent overdose. Her legacy lives on, however, as she's one of the most famous actresses of the 20th century.
So I up and left the pieces there. Like a little lost lamb I roamed about. I came to New York and
Monroe's early life was complicated. Her mother was purportedly mentally ill and couldn't care for her, and she also didn't know her birth father. But interestingly, her familial connections make her related to some other famous people. The Bush family came onto the political scene when George H.W. Bush entered the White House as the vice president of President Ronald Reagan. He later succeeded Reagan's presidency and completed one presidential term. His two oldest sons, George W. and Jeb, would follow their own political aspirations by becoming governors of Texas and Florida, respectively. At one point, they were a very powerful family in politics. Yet neither here nor there, they are famous another way. They are related to Marilyn Monroe. Number 5. Uma Thurman and Queen Elizabeth. Uma Karuna Thurman, born April 29, 1970, is an American actress and former model. She's performed in a variety of films, from romantic comedies and dramas to science fiction and action films. While she's definitely Kill Bill royalty in our eyes, Uma Thurman also carries a royal blood. Thurman is a 21st cousin once removed to Queen Elizabeth thanks to her ancestor King Edward I of England. King Edward I, who lived between 1239 to 1307, is the 19th great-grandfather of Queen Elizabeth. As Uma Thurman is also a direct descendant of the English king, the two are related. Number 6. Johnny Depp and Queen Elizabeth. John Christopher Depp is an American actor and musician. He's the recipient of multiple accolades, including a Golden Globe Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award, and has been nominated for 3 Academy Awards and 2 BAFTA Awards.
Yeah, it's over with. That's it.
Depp became one of the most commercially successful film stars by playing Captain Jack Sparrow in the Walt Disney swashbuckler film series Pirates of the Caribbean. What makes him so interesting for us is the fact that in a 2011 episode of Who Do You Think You Are?, it was found out that the Pirates of the Caribbean actor is a possible distant relative of the late Queen, as both are 20th cousins, sharing a common ancestor, King Edward III. Edward of Windsor, who ruled over England and Ireland between 1327 and 1377. You have to go back more than 500 years to reach the point where his ancestors became royal. Number 7. George Clooney and Abraham Lincoln. You can add a certain Civil War American president to the Oscar-winning actor's family tree. Politics has apparently run in the activist actor's blood for centuries, as it was revealed that the Ocean's 11 star is distantly related to President Abraham Lincoln.
Ted Nugent called. He wants his shirt back.
George Clooney, the 51-year-old actor, is a distant relative to the 16th President of the United States of America. It was found that there were similarities between the names and places of Abraham Lincoln's family tree and that of George Clooney's. When it got clear that they both had roots in Kentucky, the connection between them was also revealed. The men are connected through Lucy Hanks, who was Lincoln's maternal grandmother. Clooney is Lincoln's half-first cousin 5 times removed. Half means that 2 of their ancestors were half-siblings. Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks, was the half-sister of Clooney's 4th great-grandmother, Marion Sparrow. Number 8. Jake Gyllenhaal and the late Queen Elizabeth. Jake Gyllenhaal is a talented actor who got his start in the 90s. He was born in Los Angeles, California, to parents who worked in film industry, so he received exposure to the inner workings of the industry at an early age. Jake went to Columbia University for a year before dropping out to focus on acting. He played different roles in different genres of movies such as Zodiac, Brothers, and Spider-Man. Some of his co-stars have given him compliments on his acting abilities. For example, Tom Holland saw that Jake Gyllenhaal easily becomes his characters. However, he is not only a celebrity, but also has royal relatives. This popular Hollywood actor can trace his family's lineage back to royalty as a descendant of Edward III, King of England from 1327 through 1377, making him the late Queen's 19th cousin.